you, Susan. Lauren has inspired me to sing my presentation. Just kidding, really. Is there anything simpler and more straightforward than nonfiction? Well, I think we can all remember a time when that would not have been a trick question. But it's reached the point now with documentary where the lines have completely blurred between fiction and nonfiction. Consider that the Academy Award winner a week ago for feature documentary, The Cove, about the annual killing of dolphins in a village in Japan, is structured as a thriller, as a suspense film, borrowing techniques from narrative films. Burma v.J., a Swedish film that was also nominated, which uses camcorder footage snuck out of Burma during the 2007 protests, uses reenactments, not your typical nonfiction technique. What we find particularly in foreign documentaries is a real enthusiasm for embracing all sorts of techniques, partly because television overseas, and television really funds documentary. That's really where the money is, that's really where the audiences are. European television is much more liberal in terms of what they will air, in terms of what their audiences will accept. So that's part of the reason that every year I do a foreign documentary class. Also, the other reason is these are films I assure you, you will not have seen. So you will not show up and say, oh, I saw that on KQED, why am I paying for a class? I guarantee you these are movies you will not have seen. So the lineup includes a Chinese film that aggressively erases the distance between the filmmaker and her subject, an Israeli film that also borrows very liberally from fiction techniques to the degree that you will wonder what's staged and what's real. It's also a funny piece, too. A funny Israeli film, if you can imagine. The class consists of a film every week that runs 50 minutes to 70 minutes TV length, followed by a discussion. So I don't do any lecture. I make my points really in the course of the discussion. And my focus is not on current events. It's not on politics. It's not really on the underlying issues of the films. It's really how are the films put together? How does the approach match the subject matter? How does the approach further our understanding of the subject matter? John Grierson, the late John Grierson, his definition of documentary was the creative interpretation of reality, which you might say, well, that's kind of cheating. That just includes everything. But if the documentarian's purpose is to get to a truth, get as close to the truth as possible, and that's certainly why we watch documentaries, right? If we presume there's no truth there, then we're not interested. Then aren't there a whole lot of techniques that get us closer to the truth? So I certainly invite, if you've taken my class before, do you mind just raising your hand? Great. These are my best salesmen. And if you haven't taken the class before, I certainly encourage you to sign up. Of course, if you have, I'm encouraging you to sign up too. It's all different films. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope to see you a week from Monday.